Oh my gosh, there's a grubbin. Oh my gosh, there's a shiny. I was FaceTiming my family because I was missing Remy. The entire time when he was talking, he just seemed damn apathetic, okay? I mean, give people 3 weeks to show you who they really are. An ex-girlfriend that reached out to him. Mental load, which is such a huge... Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, and let's get straight into the sleep report. Actually, let me move my mic a little closer. A good way for me to know that my mic is positioned well is when I could see Kitsune Jerry that I got at the Inari Shrine in Japan. Alright, so it is the Good Sleep Day event happening, and tonight actually is the night of the full moon. So be sure to put out your incenses if you've been saving some of those. I know I'm going to be using them. I'm going to be using the growth incense. Alright, so I reached Master 11 last night. Ooh, a Shinx. But where are my grubbins? Oh my gosh, there's a grubbin. Oh my gosh, there's a shiny Bellsprout. Damn. I think that might be my third one. But hey, fall is here. We got our shiny Bellsprout. It's really giving fall vibes. I'm happy that we had the grubbin as well. It's been a while since I've seen the Togekiss as well. Right, so there's 2 more sleep styles I've yet to unlock here. And during the Good Sleep Day event, you are more likely to encounter new sleep styles that you haven't yet discovered before, which is nice. So I got the 4-star sleep style. I'm still missing 1 and 3 though. And then lastly, the Togekiss. This is the 2-star sleep style. Oh, it's the first time I've ever encountered it. It said that Togekiss is never seen anywhere near conflict or turmoil. If you ever see several of them sleeping contentedly, perhaps it's a sign that peace reigns in the area. Oh, that's so cute. I always thought I've already encountered it, but I guess it's just me thinking that because I see it on your guys' sleep research. Oh sweet, the grubbin is hungry and shinies are always hungry. The trio is also hungry. Ooh, got a lot of hungry boys here. Alright, so I can give the bonus biscuit to Shinx because the other, I don't want to use it on my grubbin because that's kind of overboard. So let's give it to the grubbin. Oh my gosh, and it was a critical capture. What a good day it's being. Alright, so we finally caught another one. It's been quite the search for a grubbin. And with shiny Pokemon, they're always going to be hungry. So if you missed the Smirkle animation, that's one way to know. But you should only use Pokebiscuits because it's a guaranteed capture anyways, as you guys could see here. Just for our new folks who are playing the game. And do I want to top off that Shinx? Or do I want to save my 2 biscuits? Because I feel like I don't really need a Shinx. So you know what? I'm not going to do it. Do I need a better Pikachu though? That's another story. You know what? Let's leave it at that. I'm running a little low on cookies. I was going a little ham earlier because I knew that the month was going to reset, but now that the month is reset, I'm already down at 21 cookies and I depleted my shop. So I want to do the grubbin, but I also want to show off my shiny Bellsprout. So sorry you guys, I'm going to have to do this. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's see if our grubbin is any good. It is... oh, it's not triple coffee, so I'm kind of sad about that. Hopping speed up, skill level up S, ingredient finding S, berry finding at 75 though, that's pretty late. And then skill level up M at the very end. It is EXP up, mean skill chance down, so not ideal. Let's take a look at our Bellsprout. An adamant nature, so that is speed of help up, ingredient finding down, which is not really ideal because it's an ingredient type Pokemon. But let's see what it is. Tomatoes, potatoes, and tomatoes. So we have skill level up M, skill trigger S, inventory up L, ingredient finding S, and inventory up at the very end. And as you could see, speed of help up, ingredient finding down. Which kind of sucks. So yeah, I can't use either of them. Let's take a looky over here. But yeah, not much new that I've caught since the last time we've seen each other, but let's remove the ticks and store my shiny. Oh, this was a Squirtle that I got the other day, but not triple milk. And look at all those gold skills, most of which I do not really need. Then the Vulpix, but I have a better one. And it's also speed of help down. Actually, I should discard this right now. And we got the Quaxley. Let's discard this one too. Well, not discard. Send it back to the professor. And the Shinx, we've seen this together. And the Aeron. But I kind of want it to be double coffee. Alright, let's go to our shiny tab. And let's see. Oh, so it seems that wasn't my second Bellsprout. That's, sorry, my third Bellsprout. It's actually my second Bellsprout. So the other one I have, I raised it all the way to a Victory Bell because it gave me double potatoes. But it was ingredient finding down. Okay, and you know what? At the time, I just didn't have a good potato farmer, you know? So I was like, you know what? I have a ton of candies for Victory Bell from a Bellsprout, so I might as well just level it up to level 30 and unlock the potatoes. One thing I do regret though is that you do require a leaf stone to level it up, to evolve it. So that was the risk I was willing to take in order to farm potatoes for a while until I found my designated potato farmer, which is my Mudball. So Mudball farms me potatoes. And those are the stats. It does a pretty good job. I also had like Meow Kiss. Oh, wait, is that the one? Or is it this one? Never mind. I could have sworn I had one that had... Oh, here you go. But I didn't invest in it because I already have like someone I use to farm potatoes. So yeah, that is the 411 on our team so far. Let's pick up our mission rewards. I need to use a candy one. And then I'll be able to get that friendship incense. You know what, let's pick up everything. Look at all those beans. So I have two different golems. One that's triple beans. Oh, I should have done that later. And one that is double potatoes, as you guys saw. So whenever I do need beans or potatoes, I use one or the other. Let's make our meal just so that I could free up some inventory space. Our usual ninja salad. I'm kind of sad because I was pretty occupied during the earlier parts of the day yesterday. So I didn't get to feed breakfast. I totally forgot to feed my Snorlax breakfast, which kind of sucks. Looks like we are going to reach Master 12 by the end of the day. Master 13 if I get a crit meal. Let's see, I'm doing good on ingredients. Gengar is holding up very well on his own and gathering. Compared to my Quagsire, my Lily, I named her Lily, who also farms mushrooms. She has triple mushrooms, but my Gengar farms quicker due to stats, and also I think just due to being higher level, like significantly higher level than Lily. So we got some bonus sleep points, which is really good, because ideally you want to buy. See, for me as a free-to-play player, my objectives every month are to purchase all of the biscuits and also the master biscuit. But right now, because we have new Pokemon coming out, or that just came out, my priority was having enough Poke Biscuits to catch them, which is why I didn't get to purchase my master biscuit, and I don't know if I'll be able to by the end of this month either. Actually, I might, because tomorrow we're gonna get a bonus of 1,000 sleep points because of the Good Sleep Day event. And then I think 600 or 500 again. So you know what? I think I may be able to grab that before the end of the month. I know that we have that hold back button that brings you all the way to the root menu now, but I keep forgetting. Alright, but let's go through. Oh, Tidissa, we grew closer. Congratulations. We're now level 2. We got an ingredient ticket. Before I start on our little chit chat session, I want to show you. Ta-da! Look at that. Oh my gosh, do you guys see this at cafes? No, because they usually suck at making matcha, which is why I like making it at home. I like ordering matchas when I'm out though, because I don't know, I want to be surprised if there's any that's good. But I usually end up being disappointed. But making it at home is just so much better because honestly, they just don't use enough matcha powder at the cafes, and I get it because you're trying to like lower costs and everything, right? So when I make it at home, I use probably double the amount that cafes would typically use for their matchas because I like my matcha very matcha-y. And I find that when you make your own homemade blueberry syrup, it really cuts out that grassiness and just brings out the creaminess of a matcha. Let's take the first sip. Delicious. Honestly, so good. And then you sprinkle some flaky sea salt on top of the ice. You mix it up. The salt brings out such a beautiful flavor. Still trying to find that ground ginger though, because I remember DK Creedler told me about that little cooking tip. So actually I believe it was DK Creedler who gave me that tip. And if I'm mistakening you, I'm so sorry. But let's go to the research community tab. I have quite a bit to catch up on you guys with. Drifloon. I still haven't found my other one. It showed up for the day it was released. Never again seen. So I'm pretty jealous of everyone finding Drifloons. Oh, look at Sarah's Drifloon that she found. It's holding the teddy bear. It's just so cute. So, yesterday at nighttime I was FaceTiming my family because I was missing Remy and I wanted to see his cute little face. Remy is the ragdoll cat that I got for my mom. And it's been a while since I've seen him. Like a little over a week. But I am just missing that cute little adorable kitten face. So I FaceTimed my sister and I was like, let me see Remy. I want to see Remy. So I was watching him and she was just telling me how much he's like been more adventurous with exploring the place, and he learned to play with all of his new toys, and he has this little scratch post that you could like adjust the toys and stick them onto things, stick them onto the scratch board. So there's this little like bee, and it was on the floor before, but now my sister stuck it up higher so that he gets a good stretch when he's like trying to catch the bee. And I just find that so stinking adorable. So I called it a good time because it was right around the time that Remy gets fed his last meal of the day. So I was watching my sister, making the meal, chatting with her, talking about, you know, how life has been with having a cat, and also reassuring her because thanks to a lot of you guys who told me that you had experienced or had someone in your life who was allergic to cats, and then after a while you just build an immunity to them. So I told my sister that. But my brother did purchase an air purifier to keep in Remy's room, and supposedly that's been helping my little sister out a lot as well. So that should be good. It should also be good to make his room less stinky because of his litter box and everything. But he is such an adventurous boy. He has so much energy. He was playing with his toys and it was so cute to watch. And I wish I took screenshots, but I totally forgot because I was just so like in the moment of watching him like live his best feline life. But then my two brothers joined in the FaceTime too. They came because they were, I think, either getting dinner or putting their bowls away from dinner. So we were chatting a bit. And my brother told me how he would take Remy upstairs with him sometimes, and they would have a little nap session. So my brother would take a nap and then Remy would fall asleep either on his chest or like in the crevice of his neck. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have no idea how jealous I am. Because that is just so cute. You have to have so much trust in your human for the cat to do that, right? And my brother told me that Remy also sleeps on my mom, but the way Remy sleeps is like peak trust. He has his belly up, his hands are on the side, and his tail is between his leg. And I've always seen those types of videos and pictures online, and I'm like, no cat has no business looking that cute. Taking a nap like a freaking human, like on its back. Can you believe it? It's so cute. And that's like one of my favorite sights to see in cats, when they just sleep like that. It's just so cute. So when my brother told me that Remy sleeps on my mom like that, I was like, oh my god, that is just the most precious thing ever. And my mom likes to play with Remy a lot too, which is really good. So I just know they're gonna be best friends. Remy's gonna have so many besties in that household. And we learned that as a kitten, it's good to expose your kitten to a lot of varieties of different foods, so that when they grow up, they're not going to be a picky eater. So Remy tried a little bit of new foods today. So he tried turkey and duck, like treat toppers on top of his food. And he really liked that. Like, he really, really liked that. I watched him go for those first. And my brother noticed that Remy has the habit of chewing wires, which is kind of typical. You know, it's a kitten cat, so they're going to be curious and do kitten things. But my brother learned online that if you hiss at it at a way that the mom does, there's like a certain pitch that you hiss at it, then it'll learn to not do that. So my brother said whenever he sees Remy biting on wires, he would do like a noise and Remy would stop, and that's how he trained Remy to stop biting wires. And I was like, wow, that is so neat. And he's also gonna think you're his mom. But it's so cute. I just love seeing how, like, you could see how much joy it's brought to every family member, you know? And seeing their eyes sparkle when they talk about Remy is so nice to see as well. And I'm just so happy. So I'm planning on visiting them this Saturday so that I can visit my family as well as visit Remy and get in some cuddles and maybe hopefully feed him a treat and pet him and just watch him. But yeah, that was my FaceTime session with my family, and that was so much fun. And then yesterday, Wednesday, oh, Evo Stevo, congrats on the shiny Ekans. But yesterday was Wednesday, which means that Love is Blind Season 3 released its next batch of episodes. So this is basically before the wedding. They try the wedding dresses. You see a little bit more conflict happening between the couples. And I have so many thoughts. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about Ashley and Tim. Early on, I really felt like they painted Ashley to be like this this girl who was just so difficult to deal with during arguments, you know, someone who lashes out and was so rude to Tim. You know what I mean? But then after meeting his parents and like listening to what his mom had to say in terms of giving advice to him, and then on top of that, this is spoiler alert if you haven't watched it yet. I'm letting you know right now, spoilers. But when Tim broke up with Ashley over the frequency of which she's texting, the dishes situation, and her taking a nap after meeting his parents and entertaining them for like 4 hours, I think she said it was, after having a busy day on top of that. Like, I just thought like, wow, there's something about Tim that doesn't sit right with me, you know? Because I just feel like he's trying to play off this like, oh my gosh, payday, congrats on your shiny grubbin, I'm so jealous. Looks like a jelly bean with that red color. Actually, a lot of the red dyes that food companies use come from crushed up red bugs. So like the red grubbin there. Oh, Nico, this is Isaac, but there's 2 grubbins, I'm so jealous. But yeah, I feel like Tim just tries to play off as the, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, but I'm gonna be apathetic, because the entire time when he was talking, he just seemed damn apathetic, okay? He just seemed so over it, apathetic. His face was like Stonewall 101, and he just did not, like, he just seemed like he was trying to play off as like, I'm gonna keep it cool, I'm gonna listen to you, but I already made up my mind, and I'm gonna let you act out so that I look better in this situation, because who's gonna look at the calm man and the woman raising her voice, and who's not gonna side with me? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he was really calculated in the way he wanted to make sure how he was being caught on camera. But there's just something about the way he he keeps his composure that doesn't sit right with me, because you could keep your composure the way that Garrett did during his dispute with Taylor, where you're still invested in the conversation and you share empathy. But there's something about him that was not that at all, because not only did he keep his composure, he was just damn apathetic. And I feel like it's the mixture of two that really showed you that he didn't give a shit. Like, he was set on his decision. And you know what? He has a right to break up with her or not move forward with the wedding for whatever reason he wants. If you don't feel it, you shouldn't force it. I feel like the issue that needs to be highlighted here is the fact that Tim seems to be very avoidant. In any sort of conflict, he finds any reason to leave the door half open. And you can decide to break up with your partner for whatever reason, especially if they disrespected you or crossed the line on something that you gave a hard no to. But I feel like on certain things like communication, living with each other and stuff like that, there's small things that you could talk it through. But I feel like his unwillingness to talk it through gave us all we needed to know, that one, he wasn't really feeling Ashley, and two, he's never going to be willing to compromise and work with his partner in relationships. Because look, the dishes thing, her falling asleep, her not texting him or like texting him enough through the day, I get it, you know. But at the same time, if you're going to break up to your partner for that, and then in hopes of getting into a relationship later on, like, how are you going to deal with those conflicts when it happens with the next person? Because the root of the issue is that you're not able to talk through your problems and want to problem solve together. Like, he didn't want to problem solve with Ashley. And I can see why in that conversation she got heated. She started cutting him off, and I don't think you should cut your partner off. But the girl was blindsided, you know? And I feel like if I were in her situation and I was blindsided, I would, the blood would start boiling too. I would just be like, wait, what? What's going on? I would question my reality. And you can kind of see from her reaction that, like, she was questioning her reality. I don't know if she felt gaslit by him or anything, but like, I just felt so bad about the situation. And listen, it's more than face value over the fact that she fell asleep after his parents visited, or that she didn't help with the dishes after his parents left, or that she didn't text him enough like he wanted through the day, because those are things you could talk to your partner and work it through, you know? Like, she's not a mind reader, but the way he's coming off is like, oh, but you should have known I didn't like that, like, I don't like it, and because of that, deuces, you know what I mean? And I just feel, you know what, at the end of the day, she dodged a bullet, because she deserves to be with someone who is willing to let her know when she's doing something that he would prefer if he did a different way. And I don't think it's about changing who you are for your partner, but accommodating them the way that you would want them to accommodate you on things that you have preferences over. So I just feel it's sad to see, but it was better off that way for the both of them. And I think one thing that really struck out to me during the moment when Ashley met his parents was when Ashley later left the room, and then it was just Tim and his parents talking, and his mom was telling him like, hey Tim, you're never gonna find a perfect partner. Like, me and your dad, like, he had to learn to work with me, I had to learn to work with him, like, we're totally different people. And after hearing the conversation between Ashley and Tim when they were breaking up, that conversation with his parents holds even more weight and insight to the type of person Tim is in a relationship. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. So yeah, Tim and Ashley, oh my god, like, it made me look at Tim in a wholly different way, because Tim in the pods, Tim in the honeymoon suite, it was so different. But Tim in the real world, I mean, give people 3 weeks to show you who they really are, is what I hear. And I feel like that was like the 1 month mark of them living together. But yeah, 3 weeks to a month, you really see people show you who they really are. And when they show you who you are, just take it for what it is. Take it for face value. Don't try to make excuses for them. Don't try to like minimize your feelings, or like be like, oh, but maybe it's because I did this and that's why he acted like that, so I could see. No. I can understand action leading to consequences and stuff like that, but there's some reactions of people that are just unacceptable. You know what I mean? So yeah, Ashley and Tim. Taylor and Garrett, our favorite couple of the show, they had reached their first conflict. It was the Halloween party, and an ex reached out to Garrett. So they were walking to the venue, and then Garrett mentioned to Taylor that he had an ex-girlfriend that reached out to him, and he had just liked the comment, and that was it. Now Taylor was very upset and distraught over this because she had been cheated on before, so it's like really giving a lot of herself to put her faith in one person, especially in this sort of experiment where everything's just going by so fast and you're deciding in a week whether or not you're going to say I do at the altar, right? So I can understand why that adds so much more pressure onto Taylor, because it's like, you dropped this bomb on me, now I'm questioning, do I really know who you are? Because here's the issue, okay? So the ex reaches out to him, and he was like, yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't really know how to approach it, so I just liked the comment. And Taylor was like, see, the issue I have there is that you shouldn't leave her on red, but I don't think you should just like the comment and then like not respond either. Like, you could just say I'm engaged and that's it. And I agree, because I'm engaged is a full ass sentence. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to like whatever. You could just be like, I'm engaged, that's it. And you shut it down. And she set her boundaries when she was like, this is what I would have preferred. You just shut it down. You say I'm engaged and that's it. You don't leave her on red. You don't just like her comment and leave her on red. Like, at least respond back and just say I'm engaged. You shut it down. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because every person has their definition of what they consider cheating is. I don't think Garrett cheated. But everyone has their own interpretation of what cheating is, what emotional cheating looks like, and what boundaries look like when it comes to other people approaching your partner. And that's totally fine. Because, like, hey, everyone just has their boundaries on that, right? And Garrett seems to be very receptive of understanding that that's her boundary, and he was very sorry about it, very empathetic and very apologetic. So I was like, wow, this was such a healthy communication. Like, she was able to voice her concern. He was really able to communicate that he understood what he did was wrong, and that he's so hurt to see that his actions hurt her. Because at one point she was like, I'm pissed, I'm hurt. And she's like, you know what? And I'm sad that you're hurt. Like, I hate to see you this way. And that is peak, beautiful, healthy communication. And afterwards they were like, you know what? Yes, I'm upset with you. And she said this phrase that I think is just so good. She was like, I can't say it's okay, because he was like, I'm sorry. And she was like, I can't tell you that it's okay and that I'm okay, because I wouldn't be honest. And I feel that that is great, because your partner can apologize to you, but you don't have to accept it. You can acknowledge it. You can accept it at your own time, but you don't have to feel okay right away after they apologize, because just because they apologize doesn't mean you have to feel okay and it's like water under the bridge. And I love that she was able to advocate for herself that way. But on top of that, that Garrett didn't push it. Garrett didn't say, oh, come on, man, you're still going to be upset. Like, I just apologized. How long are you going to hold on to this for? Because no, you don't get to decide when your partner moves on from it. Okay? You did the hurt. Now you fix it. You be patient with your partner. You really give them the space to heal at their own time. And you know, if they need that reassurance, or hearing you say multiple times, like, whether or not you really understand what you did wrong, like, you gotta give that to them, you know? Because how frustrating is it to be on the receiving end of it and not be sure if your partner is truly understanding of why you're hurt, what they did wrong, and whether or not they'll do it again. Because if they don't know why you're hurt and what you did wrong, guess what? They're gonna do it again. They're gonna do it again. So yeah, it was so refreshing to see that sort of conversation play out on TV. However, afterwards, Taylor and Garrett were talking to another couple, and they were talking about their little spat that happened right before reaching the venue. And Garrett slips out a little detail that he did not earlier mention. This time, his story switches. And he's like, yeah, I liked her comment and then I sent her a message. So Taylor's there like, wait, what? Because earlier you just told me that you only liked the message. And then Garrett's like, well, no, you didn't ask me to really get into it, so I didn't think I needed to explain. And I'm just like, yes, she did, because when she was talking about whether or not, when she was mentioning how oh, you shouldn't just leave her on or not respond, you could just say I'm engaged and that's it. That could have been his opportunity to be like, oh, actually, now that you mention it, I did respond back to her and this is what it looked like. You know what I mean? So it's the fact that he didn't take that opportunity to open up. I wonder why. Is it truly because it slipped his mind, or was it because he didn't want to blow it up even more right before they go? And in that case, he could just be like, you know what? We will need to get back on this because yes, I did respond. But if we don't have the time now, I do want to table this when we get back. You know, that would have been a good way to approach the topic. But instead, he drops the bomb on Taylor. She's the one not hearing this info for the first time with her friends. Oops. First time hearing this info with her friends. Imagine that. So the friends pick up on it and they're like, I think we should give you guys a moment. And then Taylor's like, yeah, I need a moment. But she needed a moment away from everyone. So she walks out. She's just talking about how upset she is because it's like, do I even know who I'm engaged to? Because you know what? Trust is a huge thing, especially when you're dealing with trust by someone who has already been cheated on in the past before. Trust just becomes such a sacred thing in a relationship where it's that's the number one thing you'll value. It doesn't matter what you words of affirmation and stuff. Yes, those are lovely. Those are love languages, but trust is so sacred. It's so easy to break it and so much harder to repair that trust. So I could really feel Taylor on that, because I think it's if you take a step back and not look at it for oh, it's just a text, he just liked it. What's the difference between and responding? If you take a step back from that, it's the principle of the matter. It's the fact that he withheld information, and withholding information kind of is lying. So it's like, why would Garrett do that? And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he just didn't like think it through properly, or maybe he was just so like, what's the word, like dazzled, frazzled about the entire situation, or afraid of losing Taylor. We don't know. Maybe he needs more time to think about it for himself and reflect on why he let it happen the way it happened. But I can totally empathize with Taylor because it's truly the principle of it. If you can hide this sort of detail to me because it's just so overlooked by you, imagine something else that you overlook that's actually very serious and that you just choose not to tell me. You know what I mean? So that's how I saw the issue, and it was just like, it was hard to see your favorite couple go through that. So I hope they resolve it because I just love them together. And I feel like this is something that they can work past, you know? Definitely something that's not like deal breaker in my eyes. I don't think he cheated. I just think it was a difference in what he thought was like worth sharing and what she thought is important to share. And in this case, I am on her side because liking a comment and responding to one is entirely different things. But to Garrett, he kind of lumps the two as the same. So that's his explanation as to why it didn't really dawn on him to mention that he responded back. But later on, it's revealed that when he showed her the messages and she was like taking a look at it, it came off much more friendlier than he played it off to be, which to me is a little problematic, you know? So I don't know, it just is like, oh my god, it pains me to see our boy Garrett do that. But I do believe that just based on how they talk to each other, he's so open to hear her side and be apologetic and understand what the issue is. And with those qualities in a partner, you can pretty much be sure that they are able to fix the behavior and understand why the issue was an issue to begin with, like why it hurt your partner. And I feel at the end of the day, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about understanding each other on where the hurt came from. Because once you understand where the hurt came from, you can understand how to work on that together and to repair the relationship and to not hurt your partner like that in the future. Because if it's not the ex messaging him, it's going to be something else that they're going to do and hurt each other. And relationships are always going to have ups and downs. No matter what, 20 years into it, you're still going to have ups and downs. And as long as you establish a good basis of communication, problem solving, how you guys both approach problems and tackle the problem as a team, you can get through anything truly. So I'm rooting for them. Like, I hope it's both a yes for them at the altar. And yeah, this video is a lengthy one. I just had so much thoughts, you guys. I didn't finish episode 10. I have like 10 or 20 or 10 more minutes on that episode. So can't wait to complete that. But yeah, I think the last part I left off on was the Ramses situation with, oh my god, I feel so bad that I don't remember her name. Melissa, Ramses and Melissa. And Melissa was just voicing her complaints about mental load, which is such a huge thing in relationships. If you don't know what a mental load is, it's basically when your partner is relying on you for a task, and instead of taking on that task on your own, you constantly have to check in with them and be like, oh, so what time is this? What time is that? Do you want it like this? Do you want it like that? Here's an example. Let's say for my birthday, my boyfriend asked me, what do you want to do? And I said, for my birthday, I just don't want to think about any decision making. I just want to relax, okay? That's what I say. If he were to come to me and be like, so are you okay with this meal? Are you okay at spa at this time? Are you okay if we do that? And it's like, at that point, I would be like, hey, look, I love you. But my request for my birthday was that I did not want to make any decisions. And now you're making me partake in this decision making with you. And therefore, I'm sharing the mental load, which was kind of what I wanted to avoid for my birthday. Or another thing I see common with new families especially is when usually the task of like scheduling doctor's appointments and stuff like that falls on the shoulders of the mother. I don't think it's a responsibility of the mother. I think it's a shared responsibility. But sadly, a lot of the times the moms are on top of that, on top of her schedule, on top of her husband's schedule, or her wife partner's schedule, and on top of her children's schedule. So let's say that mom is sick and her partner has to pick up on it, and her partner is just so oblivious of how the household is run, and he's like, or they're like, hey, so what time do the kids go to school? Do you want soup? Like, how do you want me to make the soup? Do you want chicken? Do you want like chicken noodle? Do you want congee? And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that you have to share that mental laundry list of to-dos with your partner, and they can't figure it out. And then they get upset and they're like, well, why are you getting mad for? Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't see what the problem is. My friend, the problem is that you can't figure it out yourself. You need me to do a to-do list for you to check off. And it's funny because when you do that with your partner, they kind of like, oh, you treat me like a kid. Like, it's like you have to treat me like a kid and I can't do things on my own. So it's like, it's weird sometimes, the dynamic that you see where it's like they want you to tell them what to do, but when you do tell them what to do, they take so much offense to it and they're like, you don't trust me? Yeah, that's besides the point. But mental load, my friends, is a real thing. So basically, Melissa was talking about how she felt that she was taking the brunt of the wedding planning, like music, florals, DJs, like, you know, the stuff that is like annoying to do, but someone needs to do them. And Ramses was like, yeah, you know what, like, it just didn't come across my mind because there's so much more important things that I'm focused on, like whether or not we are good. And it's like, my friend, I'm sure Melissa is thinking about the same thing, but someone has to complete these wedding tasks. And the fact that you're gonna just ignore it means it's gonna fall on her. Like, cause if she doesn't do it, no one's gonna do it because you're choosing not to do it. So the task falls on her to have to do it. And she doesn't have to want to ask her partner, hey, do this with me, you know? And I totally get it. It's frustrating when you feel like you have to ask your partner to do something that involves the both of you. And she mentioned that, you know, even if it's not this, she's afraid that, is this what the relationship and marriage is going to look like, where when they have kids, the mental load is going to fall on her and like household responsibilities and stuff? Because if he's showing up this way to figuring out their wedding, how is it going to be like when he shows up, when he has to show up to more difficult things in life? And yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, like, yeah, you're seeing a lot of different things with couples. And it's important to see that because you need to see that in your own relationship and recognize whether or not you're doing that to your partner as well. And if you are, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. I feel like it only makes you a bad person if you're looking at that and you're like, I don't see anything wrong. Because then you're never going to change it for yourself, you know? But if you can recognize that it is an issue and you're trying your best to change it, like, that takes so much strength. Because one, you're kind of admitting to your faults. And two, it takes so much patience with yourself to undo all that too. Now there's also Nick, and I forgot her name. Nick and his fiance. Wow, you guys, the Katie situation, like, that has to be an entirely different video. I don't have enough time to talk about it now because we are 43 minutes in, and I feel like if I talk about that whole dynamic, Nick, Hannah, and Katie, if I talk about that, it's definitely going to be an hour-long video. But yeah, Love is Blind, Season 7, you guys. You learn so much about relationship dynamics and just a really good jumping off point for relationships that you might have in your own life, whether they are friendly, platonic, family relationships. And I just love dissecting and, you know, taking some moment for myself as well to see whether or not there's some negative qualities in the cast members that I see within myself that I do that I could correct too. So it's always like very helpful. It's trashy reality TV, but you can make the most out of it as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you guys so much if you joined up until this point of the video. We have memberships now, so don't forget to take a look at that and see whether or not you want to join. If not, it's alright too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video if you haven't. It really means so much to me whenever you do so. And join us in the Discord if you haven't yet as well. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, take care, good luck, and have fun. Bye.